In this video, I will compare Blade and Dr. Voodoo. We'll discuss it here, who is the best champion in the game and why. I will compare the attack rating, the usage in the game, and many other aspects. And in the end you will see a spreadsheet and you will decide who do you think is the best champion in the game. I'm also at the end of the video will give my personal opinion about both champions. And the first champion is Blade, the most desirable champion in the game. Blade is the best counter against Mephisto, Dormammu and also Magic and some other dimensional beings due to his danger sense, and we are going to talk about it a little bit later. His level 2 is pretty insane, it can do a lot of damage and also will help him to gain power if the opponent can bleed. So in this case Magic can bleed and his level 2, pay attention to how many crits. Blade parry can trigger bleed, so if you parry or do a perfect block it will just put bleed on your opponent without you doing anything. Blade's level 3 is pretty powerful, it can 80% to stun opponent and also inflict bleed. So let's go over his abilities a little bit in details and see what makes Blade great. This is Blade at max signature ability and rank 5 as a 5-star. Let's go over his abilities. He have regeneration below 70%, but it's not the best thing about Blade. He can inflict bleed each time you parry your opponent and also gain power. He has this amazing thing, the danger sense, which increases attack by 2100 in this case, so it's around 5000 for this champion, and reduces accuracy ability for dimensional beings like Dormammu, Mephisto, Magic and some other. His level 2 can do a lot of damage. Blade also can reduce debuff duration by up to 95% if you have 3 bars of power, and his level 2 crits a lot. His base attack is around 2300 and his critical rating is not so high, it's 738, but with level 2 it can reach pretty high. So those stats makes Blade pretty powerful. But what really makes Blade such an amazing champion? If you have Blade you probably know it. The Holy Trinity. 3 champions together, 2 others to make Blade very powerful. So first one is a Ghost Rider. This is the best synergy in the game probably. It's increased Blade's danger sense and expanded around not only dimensional beings but all villains like a Juggernaut and Mordok and some other champions. And Stark Spidey, which increased the potential of his danger sense by 45%, so instead reducing accuracy ability by 40%, it will increase it to 56% and also his attack will be increased. So Blade with those synergies becomes a super powerful champion and #1 choice for many for Alliance War attack. Now we are moving on to Voodoo, a power control and poison god. Blade also best against Magic. His ability to reduce accuracy ability can prevent limbo or reduce this damage almost to 0. He have regeneration at the beginning of each fight, so can regenerate a lot of health, which make this champion very sustainable champion in this game. He can convert buffs to poison, as you can see here, and he also one of the best power manager in the game, especially against Hyperion in map 6 or any other power control power champions. So his level 2, if he awakened, can just drain power and also do a lot of damage, and you can play with different variation in order to manage the power, and Voodoo gives you a max flexibility. And another great ability is nullifying. Voodoo can nullify with his specials all the buffs that opponent have, and if you have Mystic Dispersion it will fill your Mystic Dispersion. His accuracy ability reduction can help you against many champions like Medusa. Pay attention here, he can just prevent the parry because they have 50% of accuracy reduction, I will talk about a little bit later. Very powerful champion. Here you will see an example how he can nullify all the buffs and convert everything to poison. This makes Voodoo also a great boss killer in Alliance War. What makes Voodoo such a great champion? Voodoo need to be awakened to be an amazing champion. His even combo increases his accuracy ability by 100% and buff duration by 100%, and not combo decreases accuracy ability of the opponents by 50% and increases duration of debuffs. Voodoo also have regeneration at the beginning of the fight, and if your Voodoo is awakened, it will be doubled. In my case, it's 7000 HP. He can poison the opponents with level 1 and nullify all the buffs. His level 2 is amazing for power management. You can control it and decide if you want to do an even combo or odd combo. His base attack is 2150, so it's a little bit lower than Blade, but critical damage rating is the same. Voodoo does not have any great synergies in the game, and luckily this is also an advantage in the game, so Voodoo don't need any one of them to be a very strong champion. And now let's move on to the spreadsheet to summarize everything here. This is my beautiful spreadsheet. This is pretty much summarize everything I said about both champions, and at the end of the spreadsheet I will give my personal opinion who I think is better or not for this game. So we're starting with Prestige, and at level 200 maxed 565 champion Blade is a little bit higher prestige than Dr. Voodoo. Base attack of Blade is a little bit higher also than its Voodoo, but Blade also on level 2 crits a lot, and we'll talk about a bit later. If his danger sense, his attack almost doubled, so pretty high. Special synergies, and here is, I think it's a deal breaker here. Dr. Voodoo does not require any special synergy. He is standalone champion, can be great and very powerful, and will have his whole utility out of the box without any synergies. Blade, in order to be amazing and increase his abilities, he needs the Holy Trinity, the Stark Spy synergy and Ghost Rider synergy. Legends run. Voodoo I tried I think 2 times, is because of his low critical rating, he is not good for Legend run. Blade with the synergies and Mutant Team can be, and I saw many people get the Legends badge using Blade with the Holy Trinity. I think without the Trinity it's less possible to get Legends run. Utility. So Voodoo can regenerate, can poison, he have 50% accuracy reduction abilities to all opponents no matter who they are. He is an amazing power management champion. Blade have regeneration, he can bleed, he have accuracy reduction by 40%, but only for dimensional beings like Dormammu, Magic, Mephisto, Hood and some other champion. He can stun on his level 3. He can power gain if opponent is bleeding. Voodoo, if he can regenerate every fight at the beginning of the fight around 7000 HP. Blade, when he below 70%, he can regenerate endless. You lost a lot of health, you have full power bars, you can get all the health up to 70% back. So Blade is, I might say, more regeneration than Dr. Voodoo. Questing. Both champions are amazing for all uncollected monthly quests, all the Act 5 quests. I did Act 5 mostly with Voodoo, and both champions can handle it pretty good because of sustainability, because of the regeneration and their abilities. Labyrinth of Legends. Dr. Voodoo can be good for specific fights in Labyrinth of Legends, but because he don't have any special synergies and his attack is not so high, you lose to Enrage Timer. So Voodoo, I say no go for Labyrinth of Legends, maybe for specific fights. Blade with the Holy Trinity is very powerful because most of the champions in Labyrinth of Legends are villains, and Blade's attack just increased drastically, and most of the opponents can bleed, so it also adds more. So Blade is very good with the Trinity for Labyrinth of Legends. And now the 2 most important things in the game, Alliance Quest and Alliance War. I start with Alliance Quest. Alliance Quest, both champions can handle map 6 with no issues. I think Blade is less valuable for mini boss fight, the Hyperion fight, because of the power gain, and Blade cannot stop it, and if Hyperion won't be nice and won't trigger his specials, Blade probably will die. Wood, on the other hand, because of his power management, can easily manage the power and easily clear the boss, but all the other paths, both champions can handle them pretty good. And now for Alliance War. This is what everybody is talking about, and here we need to say, first of all, thanks to Blade. Thank you, Blade, for reducing the amount of Dormammu's, Magics and Mephistos in Alliance War. Due Blade, and now in high tiers you will see the profiles of the alliances, and 90% are maxed Blades. So due Blade, we don't see so many BS champions, so this is a good thing. And the bad thing, maybe it's a bad thing, I don't know. Blade required to be a very powerful champion in Alliance War. He required the Holy Trinity, because again, most of the opponents in Alliance Wars are villains, and if you have Blade with Ghost Rider synergy and Stark Spidey, Blades can slice through them without any issues, even bosses and mini bosses. Voodoo. Voodoo can handle almost every path in Alliance War. He is a sustainability as regeneration champion, and he is accuracy reduction champion. He can fight almost everyone. He even can fight Spider-Man and reduce the evasion of Spider-Man. He's an amazing against Medusa, and you probably saw some great fights against Voodoo against Medusa. He can prevent the auto block. He can manage power on power gain nodes and clear bosses. I think Voodoo can clear almost every boss. I think Mephisto is the only one, because of this Aura of Incineration is pretty BS for Voodoo. But rather than this, both champions just amazing for Alliance War. So this was my summary for both champions. And this was an objective opinion about both champions. And I would really like to hear you guys, what do you think about it, and to start a discussion here, what do you think is better. And here I will give my own opinion. I think Blade is pretty great champion, is an amazing champion, but with the Holy Trinity. Without Holy Trinity, he's a regular champion with pretty cool abilities like regeneration, bleed, and also you can stun until level 3. But if you fight a regular opponent and he doesn't have a Holy Trinity, he's just a regular champion who can hit pretty hard on his level 2 because of his critical rating. But it's not an OP champion, so it's not a Scarlet Witch, and if people are talking about nerfing him, it doesn't need to be nerfed. Because without the Holy Trinity, he's just a regular champion with some cool abilities, but it's not a god, super OP over the god tier champion. And because of the Holy Trinity and what they makes him, it's pretty sad thing, because most of the wars that I watch and see, people bringing Blade, Ghost Rider and Stark and Spider-Man, and in some wars I saw people bringing, I think, 3-star Ghost Rider and 3-star or 4-star Stark Spidey just to make Blade powerful. And this is, I think, a little bit sad thing. And Blade is just killing machine, it's not require any skill, you just slice, hit level 1, continue hitting level 2 and game over. And I can understand why in wars you need such a powerful champion, but on the other hand, I think it makes us less skilled players, because, you know, Blade is just gonna do everything for you. On the other hand, Voodoo, this is a champion who requires a specific set of skills. It do require you to play different against different opponents. For example, if you fight Spider-Man with Voodoo, you need to put a node combo to reduce his accuracy ability. If you fight against Dormammu, you know you can't poison him, so you can do a power management there, you can reduce his abilities. You need to play different against almost every champion, and this requires skill. And because Voodoo is not relying on any synergies, it gives you more freedom to choose different champions for every war and have more fun to play this game. And again, I can understand top alliances must have Blade with Holy Synergies just to reduce death, but it's, I can say it's not such a fun experience playing with a god champion because of the synergies. I have Blade. I will take him probably to rank 4 because of Labyrinth of Legends, but we'll talk about later. So this is my opinion. I will choose Voodoo, and I choose Voodoo as rank 5, my champion. And if I had Blade before Voodoo, I still would go with Dr. Voodoo because of his utility in the game. So this was my personal opinion. This is also an objective here, all the video about Blades in Dr. Voodoo. And I really would be happy to hear you guys. What do you think about both champions? Who do you think it's better and for where? If you like this video, and if you don't hate me, because I really think both champions are great. I just think Voodoo is much better. Click here to subscribe, like, share, and see you soon on my next video.